Hello, this is Nige again, englishmansgarden8@gmail.com. I live right here in the middle of the Midwest in the United States. As you saw from our little preamble, this used to be the site of a two-car garage. Well, the two-car garage, as you saw, succumbed to the weather. Instead of replacing it, we decided to increase our garden on the space. So instead of breaking up the concrete, we built raised beds on top of the concrete. Now, what do you put in the raised beds? Well, we want to be as natural as possible. So we collected the leaves from the fall and we mowed over them and chopped them up. They're in the bottom because they take the longest to decompose. Then we put grass clippings in from the neighborhood yards. The neighbors weren't too sad to see them go. We were happy to see them and receive them, and that's underneath there. Then on top of that, we've put on some horse manure from a local stable, and we have a couple of stables around, so we're very lucky in that aspect. And then on top of that, we're going to be putting coffee grounds. Well, there's a reason why the coffee grounds, which we'll get to here in a minute. The reason why we're doing all this is because we want our food to be as natural as possible. So we're looking at heirloom varieties. We're going to be doing a lot of the heirloom tomatoes. We've found some fascinating facts about tomatoes and the lycopene and the other chemicals inside of the tomato being beneficial to your health. It's a good idea. I'm not telling you where to go, but look it up and see what I'm talking about. And along with the heirloom tomatoes, we're going to be growing some collard greens, cabbage, onion, probably some kale, and also some garlic. The garlic we've already got planted out. We planted that this last late summer, and that was out in the front yard. And that got killed off this winter with the frost and the cold. But this spring it's going to start coming back, and by early summer we're going to have some really nice large garlic bulbs ready for picking and drying out and processing. Now you say, why the coffee grounds? Well, we found out last year when we put some coffee grounds on our front yard that the bees liked to come in early. Now we're talking about late February, early March, and the bees were trying to find something to eat or feast on, and they were literally rolling in the coffee grounds. Last summer we noticed the bees hung around some more, so as our produce grew and started to have flower, so the bees were there to pollinate. 2 years before that we had hardly any bees at all, and we were running around trying to hand pollinate everything. So last year we ended up with a better production, and I think that's mainly because we were able to attract the bees during the early spring with the coffee grounds, and this is what we're going to do again this year. As you can see, we've got quite a few beds. As you can see, they're all full. They've been processed, they've been dug over a couple of times. The horse manure is still in evidence. As you can see in bits and pieces, you see the occasional last piece of horse manure. It has now been rained on, it has been snowed on, it has been cracked up by the frost, and it's been dug over. Now these beds, yeah, they look kind of rough, but when you consider what you've got in them, they are packed with nutrients and goodness ready for this new spring crop and the summer harvest. Why the raised beds? Well, we're living in an area where there's some heavy clay. And this here, this location, right underneath my feet here, is nothing but concrete. This used to be the garage you saw in the preamble. But instead of breaking up and expending all that energy and trying to fill the waste dumpers with concrete chunks, we decided to build on top of them. The drainage is good because it goes through the raised bed and then out onto the concrete, and then it sloughs off. We have wood chips here, which we were able to salvage from somewhere from the tree trimmers. And this again is utilizing nutrients that would have been wasted and thrown away into the dump. Now, why are we doing this? Well, I kind of like the taste of good, flavorful tomatoes. I like the taste of some nice onion. And when you can pick some greens, some onions, and some tomatoes from your own yard, and you are literally eating produce that couldn't be any fresher. All I can say is, folks, you've got to try this. It's here it is. This is the third or fourth day in February 2016. The weather is mild, and this is my first rake over of many to come in the spring and the summer, and it gives us a chance to get out. What I suggest to you is, if you've got some place that you think you can utilize, put in a raised box, fill it up with the refuse and stuff from the year, the grass clippings, the leaf mulch, some of the dirt, and grow something in a space that you had no other use for. You're utilizing space that would have been wasted. We will probably produce a good 150, 200 pounds of tomatoes in this area, because we plan on growing some beefsteak and growing some brandy wine. But what I am guaranteeing you, that everything here will be heirloom, because as far as I'm concerned, heirloom tastes the best. But this is only my opinion. I would love to have you pass a comment. Let me know how you feel about heirloom, and give me an email. I will respond to all. I got to get back and get my garden organized for the spring planting. As I said, this is February. We haven't even got Valentine's Day yet, so happy Valentine's Day. Anyway, this is Nige, englishmansgarden8@gmail.com. Get out there, put in a raised bed, grow something. It's good for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.